We're going to move on now to Mrs. Katerina Karali, who's the Director of Strategic Planning and Regulatory Affairs at Elpedison. And since she's in our panel for the strategy planning of our country, she's particularly relevant to this panel. Mr. Karali, you have the floor. I'd just like to thank for the opportunity they're given to our country to participate in a very important panel, the National Plan for the Energy and Climate, which we believe that soon is going to be updated. It sets a new direction for the development of the electrical energy in the country. There's a decarbonization from 2035 with an increase use of storage, use of RES, with some battery systems, and a lower use of pumped storage, combined with the development of networks. And even if some of the national plan goals prove to be less realistic, the general dimension remains the same. RES, storage, and networks. Such planning requires very high investment, something that the NECP itself recognizes. Of course, our own analysis shows significantly higher needs of funds for achieving those goals that are included in the NECP. And this is where we need rationalization. Of course, the cost will be paid by the consumers one way or another, but it's required to have optimization of the terms, but also the time frames within which this energy transition is going to take place. The consumers, the economy cannot put more pressure on this and these investments. We don't want to be led to energy poverty. We don't want this to be a burden on the economy. At this point, I'd like to give a very specific example of how the market experiences some of the choices that have been made during the course of the energy transition, the course of our country's journey in the energy transition. Some more mature technologies, such as solar and wind farms, could be used now in the market with purely commercial terms, without the requirement of any government subsidies, but unfortunately the consumers are unwilling to sign long-term contracts. The almost 12 gigabytes of RES that we've installed in the country, and the remaining 4 for which we have the approval of the European Commission, create an oversupply. The use of RES is going to make that even worse. The production of green hydrogen it's not going to solve the problem. The oversupply is at that level, according to the NECP, and this, of course, becomes a counter-incentive for consumers who they see themselves that if they go for a long-term PPA contract, they basically just have a contract with a value that is going down to zero. And the consumers, at the same time, they're exposed to higher tariffs for the times that RES are not producing any electricity. So higher investments are required beyond the 2 and 3 hour batteries. Unfortunately, these batteries, these high capacity batteries, do not solve the problem, but those 2 or 3 hour batteries in our systems cannot really absorb the difference within the daily cycle. And therefore, these investments are not healthy. So therefore, even this combination of RES and 2 or 3 hour batteries is not attractive for consumers. And this is why we'd like to raise an alarm and just basically say that we need to have a different approach. We can no longer carry on talking about government subsidies in mature technologies, because this is going to completely change the landscape of PPAs. Yes to government subsidies, yes to support of specific technologies in order for the right signals to be given to the markets for the change of the mix. However, the market needs to continue to operate smoothly. In the business world, beyond identifying problems and trying to find solutions to the challenges, we have to look at all the possible alternatives for the green transition to an era with zero emissions. At the moment, there are technological developments that we are taking into account. Of course, optimization of cost is something that's always taken into account, as well as such as the long-term storage, but also the CO2 capturing tools. In Elpedison, through 2 pilot projects which are funded by the European Union, they're looking into these technologies, and at the same time through different synergies with other companies, we look at these opportunities, looking at the whole kind of chain of capturing, storage and supplying, and because we believe that this should be seen as a reliable alternative that can keep the system going, and it can actually help with a further uptake of renewables. And this is something I'd like to highlight in today's discussion. We believe that in NECP should include, at least as an alternative option, the option of capturing CO2 in the electricity production plants, until we have more information about what economic factors might be related to the because the system does need, and it will need for many years to come, the natural gas plants. Thank you very much.